Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. How are you all today? Well, if you've read the title of this, which I believe I'm going to entitle Why I Delete Comments and Ban Idiots, you have kind of a clue on what I'm about to talk about. We're still down at Big Cedar, and some of the rest of the tribe has gone off to go paddle boating on the lake, but it's 38 degrees. And Dad doesn't go out on the water when it's 38 degrees. Dad likes to sit by a fire, drink his coffee. Make sure that I didn't show something there that I didn't want to show. It's all right. Hang on half a second. Okay, I'm back. So, I just put up a video on Patreon. And it's not going to be on here because it was a question from a patron, number one. This is why our Patreon community is so good. It was a question about EMP shielding of solar panels. Okay. I gave my answer, but I also said that, and by the way, I'll say right now, do not give an answer to that here. Do not. Because unless I know who you are, my explanation is coming. So the reason that I put it up, and it was a fairly new patron over there on our Patreon page channel, and he simply asked, because I guess he'd read my book, he'd read my first book anyway, and he wanted to know if I, how to protect his solar array from EMP. Well, I gave him my answer, and my answer is, well, I'm not going to give the answer here, but I told him, don't take my word for it, because we have some very smart people in the Patreon community, and I want them to answer it, okay? These guys are from both the military and civilian, very technical fields that actually know this stuff. Okay, I can repeat it, but I wouldn't swear that I understand it well enough that I would want to tell you. Okay, now if you've read my books, you know kind of what I had the person Jim Wyatt do in the books, and that's pretty much what I do. Okay, but do I know that would work? No, I don't know that would work. Okay. That's the thing. Now, here's why I don't put a lot. First off, I don't put a lot of stuff on YouTube that I put on Patreon, because whenever I put up certain things, and it could have to do, well, guns is a big one, because everybody, we got all the gun idiots out there. I call them gun idiots because, having read some magazines and hung out at the gun counters in the range, think they know all about everything. Those with experience can tell that they don't, but those without experience can't tell that they don't know what they're talking about. That's the danger. Okay, so they'll come on here, and it could be about economics. That's also what I put in the new channel, Prepping for Prosperity, because so many people have these off-the-wall ideas about finances, and they'll come in here and they'll just start expressing their opinions. And they will mislead people. Okay. So when people come in with these opinions, I have a responsibility. I feel I have a responsibility, because this is my channel, to make sure that the information put out here is, in my opinion, valid. Okay. So when people come in and they express all sorts of opinions that are off the wall, I get rid of them. Now, if they're rude, I ban them, okay, because I don't allow rudeness. My oldest son is sitting to my left over here doing something, and I can ask him, son, do I allow rudeness in my house? No, he says, I don't. I don't allow rudeness in my house. And it's the same thing here. I don't allow people to be rude to me. I don't allow people to be rude to my guests, which I consider everyone who comes here on this channel as a guest and a valued guest until they start acting like an idiot. So I get rid of those. But this is the reason, the only reason that I will ban somebody if they're rude, or if they're snotty, or if they offend, if they're offensive, or if they use, bad language. I have the same standards here that I have in my home. Act right, or you're gone. Okay, and that's the reason that I will also delete comments. Now, I will delete comments and not ban the person, simply because they've given a comment that, well, it's they don't know what they're talking about, or it's not what not the purpose of the video, and occasionally we have people come on and want to start preaching about things, and it has nothing to do with the video, and that's unseemly. It's just not the place for it, and so I will delete that comment. But I don't necessarily ban them, because they haven't been a jerk. So that's why I do it. People who know what they're talking about, their opinions are always valid, okay? People who don't, or who just want to be contrarians, I can't stand contrarians. You know the kind of person that is always, yeah, but, I call them yeah buts, yeah, but, like I'll do a whole long video about various calibers, just using guns as an example. And I will explain everything from a large experience base. And I will get comments like, well, I'll just stick with my such and such. Okay, well, that's great. I'm glad if you don't want to take my advice, don't take my advice. But I don't care whether you're just going to stick with your old such and such, because you're wrong. And see, if I leave that on, it's gonna kind of muddy the waters for somebody new who's actually coming for some information and saying, well, this guy, though, he's kind of said he's going to stick with it. So you've diluted the message, and so you've been unhelpful. So goodbye. Or like another one, I know when I said don't, you should carry something larger than a 9mm. I had some guy come on and he says he wrote paragraphs, and it was about. And he started using the terms like DevGru and CAG and Special Missions Unit, that nobody talks like that who actually has experience. If it's good enough for them and the FBI, it's good enough for me, and you can't say such and such and such. Well, first off, I doubt that you're watching anymore, but I could tell by the way you talk, you don't have any experience. See, so when you come on and you try to give all that information that is meaningless, do you have any idea why the military and police departments and the FBI choose the weapons that they do? You probably don't. You don't have any idea, okay? It has everything to do with politics and everything to do with budgeting, and very little to do with what really works. The guys are going to use what they're given, right? And in the units to where they actually have a choice of what to use, very often it's not the latest and greatest that the military or the police or the FBI has passed down. Okay, so that's the kind of horse hockey that just misleads people, and people come on here because they've been allowed to. They weren't spanked enough as children, I suppose, and because they probably do very well on other channels that also don't know what they're talking about, and so they come to a place where somebody's actually talking from experience, and they go, well, you don't know what you're talking about because I read this magazine. And so that's why people get bumped in answer to somebody's question. And I put it on the list. This has been on my list for a while, and it finally bubbled to the top. So that's why. Comments that are stupid or rude or insulting will get deleted. people who are rude or insulting will get banned. Sometimes I leave. Sometimes you can stay on just by being stupid, but not if you're rude or insulting. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Most of you did. Most of you understood that, and I'm sure that there's a couple out there going, "Oh, he's talking about me." Well, if that's you, then I guess I am. Okay, I'm going to go have some more relaxation. Actually, I'm going to make another one here for another channel here in a moment. But that's the one I figured I'd put up today. So just keep it in mind, because I want, for everybody else who's wondering kind of what I'm talking about, when you come to this channel, I want you to have the benefit of experienced opinions and not the kind of crap that floats around, so commonly in this YouTube sphere. So you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. So go out and do something to prepare today, and I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.